Moises Caicedo has low-key been one of the most underrated players in the Premier League this season, and for me, he's been one of Chelsea's best players. Yes, I said it. The Caicedo hate is lazy, and it highlights whether someone has actually watched Chelsea or not this season. It's so easy nowadays to call someone not good, or he's bad, or he's been horrible without actually watching the games. All you have to do is just check FPL, check server score, have a quick look at the highlights, see who scored, and then from there you think you actually watch ball. And the ones who scream Caicedo's not been good and the ones who scream Caicedo's been shit are the exact same people I've just been talking about. They haven't watched Chelsea and they fall into the narratives of the rival fans and the stupid narratives or even some of the deluded Chelsea fans who's just hating towards their players for the sake of hating. Caicedo has been one of the best performances this season. He's just unlucky. Chelsea's mess has clouded his actual performances, and that's not just what's unfortunate about the situation. The lack of management from Poch and the lack of tactics from Poch has given the impression that Caicedo is not the player he was at Brighton. In reality, he is the exact same player he was at Brighton, but Chelsea's poor form is not giving him any sort of justice. Before I go any further, as you guys know, stop the video right now and like the video, share the video and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 20,000. I'm getting very close. But I can't do it without your support. So please subscribe. It means absolutely nothing to you. It's a free button. It means a lot to me. And don't forget as well to like the video. Back to the video. Listen, Caicedo has never been a GA's player. He's not the type of player that will give you goals and assists on a consistent basis. So even at Brighton, when he was at Brighton that last season, he only got 1 goal and got 1 assist. So let's stop judging him on that, because I see a lot of people do that, okay? If we quickly go back to Caicedo when he was at Brighton last season, he was used in a 2-man double pivot or 3-man midfield next to Mac Allister, next to Gross, who are 2 players who can beat the press quite well, 2 players who are tactically aware, and 2 players who can defend at a good level. In Chelsea, it's the complete opposite. Poch throughout this season have tried to experiment different systems, different formations, different tactics, instead of actually understanding the strength of his team and forming a system that can get the best out of them. On paper, Enzo and Caicedo should dominate midfield. They've both done it for their respective countries, and they've both done it prior to joining Chelsea. Enzo did it next to Florentino in a double pivot role at Benfica, and Caicedo was doing it next to Gross and Mac Allister every now and then. We was playing as the double pivot. But the problem for Chelsea goes far deeper than just playing Enzo and Caicedo next to each other and expecting them to mash and play well. The problem with Chelsea, there is no system behind any of their attacking plays, and what's even worse, defensively, there's no understanding between any of them. When building up, Chelsea are ranked 13 in the league when progressing the ball from the defense into the final third, and that number is ridiculously high. A lot of times the centre backs and the likes of Disasi, Thiago Silva, Badiashile before he got injured, Lukaku, they're not looking at the midfield. The only thing in their mind most of the time is finding the ball behind the defence for either Nico Jackson, for Mudryk, for Raheem Sterling, or the fullbacks when Malo Gusto and Ben Chilwell is making that run behind the defence. This is a manager's problem, as you are pretty much wasting the midfield you have in disposal. Caicedo was ranked 8th last season in most passes into the final third. Enzo was ranked 4th in most passes into the final third. So they can both do it. Let's not pretend they can't do it. Let's not pretend like they don't have the ability to do it. They might have just been instructed not to do it. We don't know. Defensively, it gets even worse. There's been a lot of times this season where Caicedo is left on an island by himself. He's literally strangled on that island by himself with no cover, with no protection. And there's been a lot of times where the gap and the space between the midfield and the attack is so easy to expose for any team against Chelsea, or even the gap between the defense and midfield. It's so easy as well to expose. Any team can do it with happy days against Chelsea, and that's once again comes back to the manager, as Chelsea this season have tried to do a high press and a high block, but recently we're witnessing a lot of high press and low block, which means the separation in the midfield is completely open and the only man defending is Caicedo. There's been a lot of time this season where Caicedo was doing a man of a 2-man midfield, both his own position and the one next to it, because a lot of times Enzo would be occupying a much higher advanced position, which I kinda hear, because Gallagher doesn't have the IQ and the intelligence to understand the role as a 10. Because sometime this season we have seen Enzo just behind the striker, where he would be stringing the passes together, moving the passes just to get any sort of action. Chelsea has been dispossessed and lost the ball in the final third more than 13 clubs in the Premier League this season, and some of it comes down to Gallagher. When it comes to Gallagher, there's no intelligence to scan behind him, understand the surroundings. When he gets the ball, scans and then turns. He doesn't do that. That's the reason why Gallagher is ranked very, very high in possessions won. Most of the time, it's the possession that he loses and immediately wins over. So when you have this type of player in your team who disrupts your attacking game, it leaves your defense invulnerable and in trouble, because most importantly, the only 6 in Caicedo, his game gets affected as he's covering the ground, and not just his own, but his own teammates as well. Chelsea has got a very important job this summer. It's pretty much a £1 million question for them to find someone that can complement both Enzo and Caicedo. Just playing a double pivot role of both of them is not good enough. You can't just ask them to play there and expect them to do something. Brother, coach, please. You are the same manager who gave everyone the impression that Leo Messi was finished, and the year after, he won the World Cup. He was the best player in that World Cup. So please, do your job. Poch is not the manager for Chelsea. And the longer he's there, the more criticism Caicedo gets from the media and fans who don't watch the game. His reputation has been affected. I'm not saying it's not just his fault. I'm not saying it's only Pochettino or it's the teammates. There has been games this season where he should have done better, but most of the times, he's been the scapegoat of Chelsea's poor form and disgraceful form as well. Guys, let me know what you think about Caicedo. If you're a Chelsea fan, if you agree with me, perfect. If you disagree with me, let me know why. Let me know why you think. I'm very, very curious to hear that. But like I said, the videos are now back. I'm even thinking to do a bit more Prem content the same way I'm doing right now. And the next video, which I'm planning to do, is the highly anticipated title race between Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool, and who I think will run and walk with the league. But guys, don't forget, like the video, please. Before you go, like the video. If you're still here, my 1%ers, please like the video. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 20,000. And I'll see you very, very soon. Peace.